Well then, welcome to I am rebuying my childhood, bit by bit, to make sure I do it right this time. Today, farming. More specifically, harvest. Story of Seasons. The farming series, if you don't count the other farming series and the other farming game. Like all farming games, it has you taking over an abandoned farm and growing it bit by bit. But the twist in this game is capitalism. That's just real life, though. Starting out, we have a flyer for a free house, no scam. All you have to do is come to this abandoned place in a small town, Zephyr Town, home to a most grand bazaar. Well, it was.
The once grand and glorious bazaar is but a shadow of its former stalls.
I think it's because that statue is basically telling everybody to fuck off. Now, they need a farmer to restore the bazaar, because what's a better idea than putting all your hopes and dreams that the farmer gets TikTok famous and drags everyone up with them. Farming experience optional, of course. Like any great game, you can actually say no and end the game right there. In real life, I would not blame you.
They will come.
This mayor has a serial killer eye twitch and the body of someone who snaps backs like twigs. After signing your life in service of the town, we take a small tour, followed by a general introduction of the townspeople.
So make sure to say hello with gusto!
Very excited folk we've got here. We also get our first experience running the bazaar. General feel you'll get very used to. Buy my items! Buy my items! You need my items! I'll sell the Victorian kid some turnips. Listen, I may have gotten these items from a guy I just met 5 minutes ago, but you need these items. You won't get a better deal. You want wool? This is totally not the lint for my pockets. I lied, this is the lint for my pockets, but I will sell it to you. Now with our extreme profit of what I think is less than $50, we get introduced to our quaint little home, complete with corners around the bed for the killer to hide behind. It's even a storage area, so I won't be compelled to check the corners for any unwanted guests. The rest of the week leading up to the first real bazaar is just a large extended tutorial of the systems of this game.
Welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker!
My diamonds!
Check it!
Being Dutch.
Yeah!
Seeing as we didn't have enough seeds, I bought a bunch, and then realized that I got a lot more in the mail. That mistake also takes us into the town, which basically gives us the opportunity for Marvelous to basically give us previews of all the available bachelors in the area. All voice acted.
It's you.
Wow, that's just really nice. The rest of the week, and you'll see this as a pattern later, is just preparation, preparation, preparation.
So dizzy.
Okay, maybe too much preparation. Everyone comments about you collapsing, telling me to go get rest and not work too hard. Have you ever thought about the idea that instead of telling me to do less work, maybe you're the ones who need to do more work? Maybe not enough people are collapsing on the street due to overwork. Anyways, that little incident gets me to upgrade my watering can so that doesn't happen again. And hopefully I can upgrade the rest of my tools to copper tools, because it seems like those are easy to come by. Now on to the first, I guess second, bazaar. Waking up with only an hour to get ready, because preparation is for nerds, I guess. We haul out whatever crops, processed items, and I said crops again in this script, down to the bazaar to sell. This is also our weekly event where we can get specific items, like techniques from Felix, upgrades to our farm, and special animals and seeds. This means it's a good opportunity to plan out and figure out the future of our farm, and by effect, the town and bazaar. This is an on-cue panic attack because I frantically search up what seeds sell for what, if I make a good profit, how much time it takes to cultivate, the timing for the bazaar, windmill processing times, items per square inch, time to make versus profit. There's a reason that I have not completed a Stardew Valley playthrough, and it's the same reason that I have not completed a Factorio playthrough. Sell whatever items we managed to figure out, and we rake in about 25,000 in gold, which immediately goes into buying a cow named Pete, buying breeding services for a new chicken, and upgrading my storage, because I already filled my storage up within the first week, and I think that might be a recurring issue.
Sometimes foreshadowing.
Yeah, upgrades are pretty easy to come by if you know what you're doing. Which reminds me of why I didn't progress as a child, because all I did was, sold weeds. The following Sunday has the Bazaar report. Sadly, there's no cryptids involved. Good news, we ranked up. It only required 1,000 gold to reach the next rank. I actually do just think Felix forgot about the verification email, and we've been operating in the Bazaar gray market, selling unverified turnips to opportunistic children. They call me the dealer of turnips. Well, now that fun's over. We get support from the Bazaar review board, sending in their agents to help the Bazaar's growth.
Support can easily be taken away if you don't show the kind of progress they're looking for.
What is their kind of progress? Do they have some sort of narrative that I don't know about? They also picked up this hobo. How would I describe him?
This is Ryu, from Streets.
He sleeps in a tent by the mountain, which he opened to by punching the boulders.
My favorite things are jumping into light fierce.
Now, alongside the Bazaar rank up comes requests from other people to open up their shops. These are requests that require items that I need to provide. Now, could this be something that the mayor could do? Yes. But why have the mayor, the person who runs this town, do it, when the local farmer can do it, I guess? Now on day 10, we get told about a certain event that's happening this week. The Flower Festival. Basically an event where we give people flowers. If you haven't been talking to people like some compulsive extrovert, this is where you'll most likely create the first friendship hearts with most of the residents, which in turn leads to a friendship request which locks your relationship progress until you do that request. Pretty manipulative, but I guess that's just the cost of being popular. This is also a competition, so we do want to be the one to give the most flowers. This is actually quite easy with how the map tells us where everyone is, which may make things close if the event didn't span 2 days and allowed me to double dip on flowers.
This year's best neighbor is... you! Congratulations!
Was not even close. Now we move on to these fellows.
Aha! So you can hear us after all.
My sleep paralysis demons. Or the harvest sprites, which would make more sense if I could harvest Wi-Fi and capitalism. Definitely leaning more towards paralysis demons. But they do just want me to be happy, so I guess they will work as positive affirmations. They even got this little number go up to make all the Zoomers and stock watchers happy. Now after 2 weeks, I think we've slowly slipped into our cycle of exploring, farming, and talking. Of course, we could also go over all the relationship dialogue that happened that week. But that's very much a drip-feeding exposition over social links, which in my opinion would sound choppy and terrible. We'll get to them when we get to them. As for crops we have to sell, we actually don't have a lot. We have a lot less crops because the special crops take longer to grow, longer than a week, which I only knew after the fact you can have by just watering at night. After contemplating restarting 10 hours of progress for maybe a day of extra income, I powered through the voices and proceed to my second bazaar. So, funny story. So I guess the gods heard me and decided to destroy my hard drive in a high-speed crash. That left me with two options. Either give up and move on with the next video, or restart from day one since I only have 2 saves, both of which are from days later. Wow, I have that much free time on my hands? Jesus Christ. So here are the slight changes. I got more money, got the funny double jump technique, because there's a super you have with all the techniques that require a jump. Did you know that if you sleep earlier in this game, you wake up earlier? I have yet to figure out this black magic in real life. Back to regular progression. First, some descriptions of some of the shops that I, and not the mayor, helped open up. First, the fashion shop, which as a Warframe player, we know that it's endgame, so we don't get into it that much. Second is the furniture store. Not for your house, silly, but for your bazaar, which can give you buffs depending on what's displayed. Very nice, but it doesn't give you percentages, so it only half exists in my head. And lastly, rehoming pets to the farm upstate. The Harvest Sprites have also set up a stand, which is despite the fact that I'm the only person that could see them. The sprites, I doubt, have put in the proper paperwork, so I'm not going to classify them as an actual shop. Bribes do work, though. Their shop uses happy points that they were talking about at their first introduction to buy, oddly enough, logistic solutions. You wouldn't think what they sold was so pedestrian, but I guess if you wrap enough things in twigs and leaves, they could be classified as nature items. Now that we're caught up and much more ready for the second bazaar, with actual crops this time, we can... Oh, what's this bar? We have this new bar in the corner of the screen, which is used to call the Harvest Sprites, and this bar is basically a cross between a limit break and the Mario Party minigame Domination, letting us sell as quickly as we can mash the A button, automatically replacing whatever we need and putting other bonuses above their heads. Mostly I just use it to extend the timer past the morning shift. Thanks to that and the power of processed goods, we make a cool 50,000 in sales, enough for an expansion to our field, bag, and 2 very appropriately named animals. 50,000 in sales mean we go up another rank, which means more stalls have been requested, this time from some of our residents within town. Both Lloyd and Arado want to set up their own shops, as well as an out-of-town person named Garen, probably trying to get enough money for a chiropractor. We also get a little bit more backstory about the farmer who once brought many people to this bazaar.
Would you mind telling me more about this farmer for reference?
Well...
Mayor!
The accident was 8 years ago, you need to move on. I'm just spitballing here, but was the farmer's wife. There's like a watering can in his room. Speaking of old history, going to the mountain for our rotations, we see the all-important Isekai portal, which takes us to Kagetsu, the harvest godin of this region, I guess, who seems to live very separate from the rest of the town. Speaking of harvest, a day later and we get another field. Honestly, I thought the expansion would have meant 2 or 3 more rows, but I guess our farm is now just double the size. This is good, probably. Another good thing is that I have found where the Harvest Sprites live.
This is my own private domicile and I will not be harassed! Bitch!
This is not only another place I can add to my rotation where I can find good ore, but is also the event that unlocks the foraging system, which completely destroys any semblance of storage. Okay, so it's good. We upgrade the quality of the things we forage by donating lower quality things to the Harvest Sprites. But items of different qualities aren't stackable, which will grow to be a problem. You also might have noticed that I haven't been spreading any fertilizer on my crops, because why throw bad quality fertilizer on bad crops when I can grow good quality fertilizer on bad crops, which would probably grow their quality quicker. I haven't actually tested it, so I'm just going off vibes here. In terms of town progress, we also unlocked the Blue Windmill, which lets us process more high quality things, and most importantly, lets us convert crops into seeds, which is extremely useful for crops with multiple crops per harvest, and facilitating just a fertilizer quality crops cycle. Honestly, this is just a little bit confusing considering there are a lot of crops that just convert only into 1 harvest, which just doesn't make sense to turn into 5-star crops then. Economic balance aside, the next few days is the same old cycle of farm, mountain, town, and windmill. In the meantime, you can take a look at personal events listed on the map, like childhood crushes and advice, and Isaac being gaslit to stay fat. 20 gold on the girls waiting for the perfect time to cook him up. Wait, I need him for windmills, can you wait? Related to familial love, Honey Day. It's their stand-in for Valentine's Day, and is showing appreciation by giving honey to people my age, aka any of the bachelors or bachelorettes within the game. Thankfully, Felix understands how I like to diversify my portfolio. In total, we got 5 jars of honey, one of them I can turn into a honey cake, so let's finally get into the relationships of this game, and talk about the 5 candidates I have for a relationship, with 4 potential partners and 1 prime. That's a horrible way to describe how you want to marry someone. It's really that shallow? First of the candidates I'm considering is June. Being more emotionally distant than others, this one is just because she reminds me of me. Whether that's good or bad is yet to be seen, because I refuse to do self-reflection on myself. Then there's Freya. I like career-focused people. Maybe they can push me to upload more consistently. For men, there's Jules, the soft-spoken and caring, missing parents, raised his brother. Wow, I wonder why every Fujo on the county has him on the list. And Lloyd. He just rocks. And it's kinda just also June. But there is the person I did give my honey cake to. Fuck. And that's Kagutsu. Forget being a harvest goddess or something. She just seems very lonely. This is an Aladdin situation. I do want to show her the world. Do I know anything about her personality? Is this a good idea? Maybe I should reconsider. One overexhaustion later, and we have to stock for Bazaar 3, which, is not as big as a leap as I wanted to. In terms of farm production, it just seems we're bottlenecking on processing times on storage. The overexhaustion was just a mistake. I'm really bad at looking at the top right sometimes. Storage box to the rescue. Now that the bazaar is even bigger, we've been given another table to stock.
For business.
Yo, when did I get the extra stand? What the hell? It's overwhelming because not only do I have to stock 8 items at a time. Oh my god, this is like the stress.
Play cool.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, the depth perception is fucking big ass killer.
Nice find. Pedal to the metal.
Oh, why am I serving like 10 gallons of rice to a kid? Lloyd's here. He sells ore, which is basically a paid shortcut to upgraded tools. Considering the abysmal drop rate of silver for me, this is greatly appreciated. Lloyd, you just moved up 1 in the relationship rankings, just for being useful. We also have this hunchback named Garan, here to expand the grasslands and allow us more animals. Although it seems that he's also a cooking enthusiast, selling cookware and kitchen upgrades for 10,000 for a fucking frying pan. We could have also gotten Mr. Tent by the River's shop, but the cooking recipe he wanted called for an egg, and my chicken was caught between breeding another one and making a honey cake. So next week it is then. Selling off the stock that we have this week, I finally start getting a feel for what products I should be selling. Originally, I thought pickled goods would be the best thing to sell considering how much more they sell compared to their regular counterparts. But then we had to consider the processing time. A very long time. 10 pickled radishes accounts for basically an entire day. And that's before needing to put more things into the windmill. The new week is just like the last week, but even more optimized. Water the crops and then take a bath for extra stamina. We can do a second one at night just for the second batch of watering. Figure out where all the rocks spawns, hit them all before 5 o'clock, and then they'll respawn and we can remine them. Be sure to bring your animals out to graze and then bring them back in before they fall asleep. Okay, this one I'm not very used to that much. But with this lull in interesting events, I can finally give my impressions on how I feel the game is. The game is really good. Like, really, really good. It's not uncommon nowadays to have remakes that outdo the original, but these have never applied to games that I've played, so they don't exist to me. It's relaxing, it's colorful, and most importantly for me, it's responsible. I know this may not apply to everyone, But the game just doesn't throw whole systems at me and leave. They start you off with a few things, and then expand on them once you've gotten enough experience or enough of a certain threshold. I know that sounds a lot like Game Design 101, but I've just been playing a lot of games where they'll just throw an entire system on you, which causes me to either have a mental breakdown or break the game so entirely that I've lost some of the enjoyment of it. Here, the starting field is big enough that if you water it, you will have time to talk to the town. If you talk to the town, you will have enough time to mine in the mountains. No one system is overloading to the point where it takes up your entire day and overtakes other systems. A good example of that is the town. You'll cross it multiple times a day if you're doing rotations. However, there's multiple ways across town. We have the top path that requires a little bit of jumping, the middle path that utilizes the spring barrels, and the bottom path, which you can just walk across. Each of these paths have different houses you can talk to the locals through, which means you're encouraged to go on different routes and socialize within the system without it taking a dedicated part of your day. Basically, at this point in the series, the developers just knew what they were doing and have very much highly optimized it. Game review aside, no week is without its event, and this week is the tea party. Usually tea parties are where the older folk go to gossip, or in more truthful terms, talk shit, but they've opened it up to everyone one day a year, provided we give the tea. And in doing so... yeah, that's it. No contest, no talking to people, not even an ability to start a rumor about the mayor having a mistress. 0 out of 10 game, send it to the farm upstate. Okay, maybe it did have something to do with me using 3-week-old tea leaves that got given to me in the mail. See an event where Eric dotes on June, and then Madeline asks us to cook. Oh, we'll cook. Given my experience with the Bazaar up to this point, I've figured out a plan for Bazaar 4. I've cooked up a mix of items ranging from jewelry, processed goods, to just crops, and we can see what's the best thing we could sell. He sold me food. He sold me crops. He sold me The morning shift went well. Very well. Perhaps a little too well. I have no items for the afternoon shift, and I'm scrambling to find anything to sell for that. I'm like selling fodder. Fodder. Well, the afternoon doesn't really matter since I made so much money in the morning. For the new shops, we have a Rada shop, which I finally got built after donating food to the homeless. He does construction work, separate from the construction worker, and separate from the other construction worker, where he'll build things like beehives and mushroom logs in the mountains, which apparently only take 2 days, but he can only take 1 order at a time, which can only be done at the bazaar. Sure man, take your time upsetting a log leaning against some wood. Products. Okay, so from the results, what I could see, crops you can get a lot of easily, but they don't sell for much. Realistically, there's a simple recipe you can use to bump them up. Processed and pickled items do sell for more, but take time and space away from the windmills, which could be used to make better crops, or jewelry. Foods slot somewhere in the middle, with the trade-off of processing time, but more complicated recipes that require more than 2 ingredients. And so, with another 100k golden profit, comes with another upgrade to the City Bazaar rank, with new requests like Lloyd playing Catan, as well as new backstory. Tragically, the old farmer not only just up and left, but was also the mayor's mother as well, with not a single letter since. That is quite sad, if it wasn't for the music playing in the background.
Knowing her, I'm sure she's living it up no matter where she is.
Well, I guess it's just consistent with every other backstory I've been hearing. Unless it's Freya, where she just wants to cook good. Apparently this is the wrong dialogue option, but hey, if I'm not going to be honest, who will? And thus, with the upgrade to the 4th Bazaar rank, comes with the changing of season, the rotation with crops, here's a bingo sheet, and the end of this video. Sure, I could extend this video out to cover the rest of this year, maybe even 100 days, but I'm sure repeating phrases of, I can upgrade, so I did, is getting a bit grating. I'd also kind of like to relax in my relaxing game instead of fretting about my OBS recording and jotting down notes each day. Play Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. It's very good, and also different enough from Stardew Valley to distinguish itself. I don't know how to end videos like this, so, play Waka. It's made by the same company. Okay, bye! Samir kinda got shafted since he appears in the first of summer, huh?